And up again. Last one. Take your left.
$23, 47.
House.
Oh, well, I had relatives and friends that have, over the years, have either lived in retirement villages throughout the North Island, and some are still in the villages. So it was, and it's something that we, as a family, we've discussed often. So it wasn't a matter of probably of deciding, it was a matter of when and where. It's something that the family and we've talked about a lot. Well, as I say, I had relatives in all over the North Island villages, and when the decision was made, my family sort of went round and helped me find the place I wanted to go to, and at the end, Cedar Manor sort of ticked all the boxes, and this was the place I chose, and I chose it mainly because it seemed to be more family orientated, and everybody seemed to be cheerful and happy, and that's what I was looking for. I have that sort of family that throughout life, even though at times we disagree with decisions, once the decision is made, everybody is supportive and they get behind it, and this is what they did. They were marvellous as far as I was concerned. They went round the different places and they took out what they thought I wouldn't like and narrowed it down to 2 or 3, and this is where I ended up. I enjoy the friendliness, the companionship, the relaxation, and the fact that I still have my independence, and I do still have outside interests, so I can participate in things here and still go as I please, and do my own thing if I want to.
Easy.
The decision to move into a retirement village was very easy. After my first visit to Cedar Manor, I straight away thought, well, this isn't the place. It didn't seem to be like most retirement villages. It seemed to be more like a hotel complex and a family-orientated place. Yeah, I haven't been here that long, and I think I am making good friends. I haven't ended up with the black eye yet, so I think that in time I will find a lot of friends here.
Sorry, do we need to say?
I think I have. I haven't been here that long, but I am making quite a few friends, and I haven't had any black eyes yet, so I think that I will in time find some very good friends at Cedar Manor. The apartments are excellent. The one I chose is nice and sunny. It has everything I need. If I wish to do any cooking or entertain some of my family or that, everything is there and available. And if I choose to go to the dining room and that, I can do that as well. So I have all the choices for myself.
So you've been feeling all right lately? You think it's up a little bit?
It's always up a little bit.
Is it? And why is this your worst arm?
I don't know, because you can't get blood out of it.
Oh, but I can get your blood pressure fine.
So what is it now?
It's a wonderful blood pressure.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
130/60.
Is it?
No.
Here, Debbie, for almost 4 years, and the reason for coming was because in my dear little 2-bedroom unit I had outside, there was so much maintenance facing me that I thought my pockets are not deep enough for this, and I couldn't cope, so I didn't want to make 2 moves. You know, I thought, well, having had my 80th birthday, I thought, well, this will be the time to sort out a village. My daughter and I drove all around Tauranga looking at the retirement villages, and this one stood out above the others because it's so accessible to the city and to facilities in town, to my daughter, and the other villages are handy, and I have some friends there, so it's nice and handy to visit. And of course, living in Cedar Manor, in the apartment that I bought, when the time comes, Debbie, I'm going to be able to go downstairs to have more care, or there's a hospital wing if it's needed sometime, and I took all of that into account. Yeah. Yes, it was. It was quite easy because I'd decided. I take a lot of thinking about it, but when I make up my mind, well, that was it. I knew what I wanted. Yes. I loved Arcadia Village. That was nice, and they had a very good manager there, so when the time came and Debbie was transferred to Cedar Manor, I was thrilled. Yes, I'm quite happy here because fortunately I have independent living, because I care for myself and cook and shop and do things, you know, so sometimes I'm thinking it's getting rather close, and maybe later this year I might start wandering into the dining room more often. But at the moment I just go in every Sunday for roast dinner. And I love, I'm very partial to quiz sessions, Debbie, and word challenge and things like that. So, and I play a lot of cards. I love the association with Arcadia and the Girton villages. When we meet up, that's lovely. I enjoy that. Enjoy most here, probably Melbourne Cup's a nice day. That's lovely when everyone dresses up. And yes, that's a nice social occasion. And of course the Christmas functions. And yes. They were quite happy about it. Of course, my daughter Janice took me to see all the villages, and she made her point of view, you know, the pros and cons of this one and that one, and that helped me a lot. But no, they're quite happy about it. Yes, one or two little riders that people have to be happy where they go because of themselves, you know. I can't say to someone, oh, you'll love it there and you'll do, because it might be something else they're wanting, something that's different from what I was after, you know. But yes, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it, and the staff and all the facilities here. Yes. Yes, I would recommend it, but I would suggest that they decide on what they want from, well, that's why they're going to move here, or thinking about it, what they want from life, and fix it around their likings and dislikes, you know, because everybody's different, and we want different things from life. It suited me. When I came in, I loved the open space of the stairwell and the wide corridors. But yes, my view from my apartment window could not be improved on. It's magic all over the Tauranga Harbour. It's a beautiful view. Yes. In fact, I was in a big tower block apartment in the city a week or so back, and I was on the 9th floor. Beautiful balcony, looks over the harbour, but this lady sees the wharves and the industrial area, what have you. And I thought, one day I'm going to invite Margaret up here and show her my view when the leaves are off the trees and I see a beautiful harbour and those lovely trees. Yes.
I lost my husband. My husband died and I was alone in 6th Avenue, and it was very lonely. The people were not friendly there. And I knew they were friendly here, because I used to come over for word games and things like that. So I came over here when there was this apartment vacant, and it's beautiful.
Safe and secure.
I feel very safe and secure here. In fact, if I go out very late at night and come back at 11 o'clock, it's all locked up, and I have to get permission to come in. So yes, it's very safe and secure. I love it. I'm happy here. I go to bed and I've no worries. Other than the family, of course. So that, now I'm happy.
That's good.
Just over, what, 3.5 years? No, 3 years and 3 months today, because we had to use the booper to check in, you know, to make sure that it rings. And I hadn't been well, and at one stage we thought about going into a retirement place or somewhere like that, and Joe said, oh no, we might wait for another 12 months. And then our daughter come back from Perth, and we got talking, and she said, well, what say we just go and look around, you know, it's a good time while I'm over here and I can see what things are like. And we were having lunch.
We'd already looked at some places.
Yes, that's
and
right.
we let it lie a bit.
Yes.
And I had a cutting of this unit out of a brochure, and Jan came home from Australia and she said, well, if you stop looking, we'll go and see this one. And she came here and we all came in and had a look.
Yeah. And then that day, the day I walked in that door, Debbie, and I could see that that was a separate sort of dining area, and I said, I could live here, just like that, you know. And she went back to Perth, and she phoned Linda to come over here and have a look. And Linda texted Jan saying, hope they go ahead, it's good, it's Cedar Manor. So that's how it all, well that was in August, and we shifted in December. And it was the best thing we've ever done.
It suits us.
Yeah.
It's handy to town. It's handy to a supermarket. It's handy to, we walk across the street to a bus stop. So it's all handy.
Down to Bayfair on the bus, got over here and stepped off the bus at Bayfair, had a look around, had lunch, come back, and that was good. But there's something going on all the time, you know. You can go over here and get your hair cut, or if you've got a sore hand you can bring up Kerry. No, 10 out of 10.
We've got a doctor just around the corner. I can get my hair cut here. It's quite, everything's handy.
Excellent, and it'll be better this coming winter.
Excellent.
No, it is good.
Dug up a little bit of lawn when we arrived and put a few veggies in, growing beans and tomatoes in a very small dug area which doesn't take much. No, it's good.
I suppose, well, when we lived out there, we were in a unit, and we were the third unit back, and I used to look out into a fence, but we had a nice garden in front of the fence, but other than that we didn't see anything, did we?
You got something out to look at going past.
I could see everybody waves out, you know. And no, there's just and Linda said one day, oh, we used to worry about you being out there because we used to think you were lonely, but I never ever got lonely, because I used to potter around then in the garden and do things, but I'm not a person that gets lonely, well, not so far anyhow.
Someone said to us earlier on, you get a lot of noise. We're only a few yards from the main city thoroughfare, but it's always very quiet here. Even in the middle of a working week it's quiet here.
It was actually our son-in-law that said, oh, it's going to be noisy, but it's not. Right.
Well, for the things we've already spoken about, handy to everything, doctors, chemist, just around the corner. We can walk there in 2 seconds. All those things. Plus, if we get to the stage where we don't want to cook a meal, we can go over to the restaurant and have one. We go over there for meetings and morning teas if we want to. If we don't want to, we do our own thing.
Now next week Joe's got to go to the eye clinic and he's got to have a driver. So normally we've gone under our own steam, apart from when he had cataract operation, and next Wednesday Kerry's going to pick us up and take us. Well, just all those little things makes life easier, That's what it's all about at Cedar Manor.
I believe that the residents' lives are happy and enhanced because of the companionship that is felt once they move into a retirement village. For many of them, they've had, may have had years living on their own, socially isolated, and when they move in, it's the companionship. The staff are always around. It's just that feeling of belonging, and not necessarily the dependency upon their families. Especially for the apartment residents, every morning when they open their apartment door, they know that somebody is here. The staff are here, or their neighbours, and they meet and they have their morning tea, and it is that sense of purpose and sense of belonging. I feel that I've achieved something wonderful in my village every time a resident just looks at me and gives me that smile. And it's that smile knowing that you can just tell when a person is happy and comfortable in the village and in the environment that they've chosen. All of our residents are different and have different ways of showing appreciation or thanks. For some, they'll just reach out and hold your hand and just touch you, and there's that feeling of that you're doing something to enhance their lives. And for others, it's just the silent smile and nod. Yeah, when you're making people happy. For many of the residents, one of the reasons for choosing Cedar Manor will be because of the ongoing care that we have available. So it is very important to them. It is extremely comforting for the residents to know that we have the continuum of care on site here at Cedar Manor. People are often, unsure of the future and what their needs might be, but to know that when they move into this retirement village, if their needs do change, that they're still going to stay within the Cedar Manor family and within Bupa, and that is extremely important to them. Each month we have a van trip, and as the village manager I like to take the residents out, and it's extremely important for me and also for the residents to have that time away from the village, away from the office, where we just have fun and spend this time together. This month we're going to Matakana Island, and we're actually going to depart on a boat down off of the harbour, and we'll be met over on the island, and we're having a bus with commentary telling us all about the history of the island, and we're going to have lunch in a retreat, and then we'll return back on the ferry and back to the village. So yeah, we're all very much looking forward to that. Often when residents move in and they perhaps have left a large home, a large garden, and their lives have been busy and they've been caught up for so long, for so many years they can't remember in the day-to-day chores and tasks that need doing. And actually when they first move into the retirement village, it's suddenly they have all this time, and that's often one of the things that they worry about coming in, that they want to be kept busy, and they think that if they don't use it, they're going to lose it. But actually it's quite the opposite, because the time that they have is quality time. And it's also often I'll say to people, the time they spend with their family, it could be the son coming and every time he comes he's got to mow the lawn, or he's got to be doing chores for mum. And now it's actually quality time, because they come into the village, and when the son comes to visit, there's nothing to do, so he can spend that quality time. He can take mum out for a coffee, and it's just, it improves everybody's lives. And they very quickly fit into all of the activities that we have here at the village.
Right, this month we have our March birthdays. We have Flo. Okay, so happy birthday wishes to Flo. And then we have Jack, is another March birthday. Jack down the other. Happy birthday, Jack.
My God.
And then we have a belated birthday to Tina. Tina had a birthday. Yeah, that's right. So, everybody, we go. We'll start at the top of the table. So, you've all got a little selection of candles each. So, we'll go first.
What candle do I blow?
Right in front of you, sweetie.
All of them?
No, just in front of you. Yay! Make a wish.
Oh, dear, Tina's birthday too.
Tina.
Oh, Tina, you're right.
Woo!